I am Coach K, owner of Wanna Go Fit, and I'm going to demonstrate some different exercises that you can do to help build your core, as well as help with your endurance and your muscle, keep your muscles strong. So, I have a variety of things. I know you see them. I know you love them. You're like, oh man, what is this? So we're going to start off with the standing exercises. Now, typically, of course, if you're standing, that means that you are that you're mildly affected, you know. So with the being mildly affected, you have the ability to use maybe your arms, your limbs. You're not exactly stable, but we could work on that. All right. So as you see, we have different things that you can use. With your core stability is going to help you when just with your balance. Balance starts with your core. So as long as you have a strong core, you are able to just be a little bit more secure on your feet. And that's what we want. Now, some of the things that you can do are leg raises. Now, this, my friends, is a wall. You can hold on to that. So what we're going to do is one hand on the wall if you need the support. However, if you're able to, let's go ahead and shift our weight. So by shifting your weight, that is shifting your center point of gravity, which is balance, right? So shift your weight, lift the leg, bring it back down. Inhale when you lift, all right? So we inhale up, exhale back down. Again, this is wherever you are in your level. If you need the wall, use the wall. No judgment, no problem. Use the wall. Now, to keep it, I personally keep it fun, right? Let's go ahead and get a shift, a little tick, a little tock. Put on your favorite tunes, you know, maybe a little song, a little something in the background. Lift it and lift it and lift it and lift it. Inhale up, exhale down. Look at the shift, right? If you are at the point where you are stable, you are definitely, like I said, at the mildly affected level, look at down here. This band can go around your ankles. It can go around your thighs to add resistance. This is where we are building muscle. This is where we want to make sure that we have the ability to get a nice workout, right? It goes from kind of being fun to let's work out, right? So these resistance bands you can use, and this one is a low band. So, you know, I'm pulling on it like, it is a low band. So, of course, you have different levels. Pick the level that works best for you. Now, if you are able to, like you said, stand, you are at the level where you can raise your arms. Now, I have a bar here. This bar is maybe 1 or 2 pounds, nothing heavy. However, of course, they come in different levels. You can make sure, like you said, that we are good base of support. Hip width apart. If you are standing with your feet close together, that gives you less support, okay? So we want to make sure that when we stand hip width apart, and our weight, our knees are soft, right? Don't lock your knees. Soft knees. My weighted bar, this one is a good stretch, okay? If you're at the point where you can have someone maybe pull back on it for you, oh my goodness, the level of enjoyment from that. But it also helps your range of motion. So inhale up, right? Exhale down. Now with this one, we can build a little heat, get a little bit more of endurance going by repeating that action, right? Repeating the action, bringing it up, bringing it down. If you would like to increase the intensity for this because you're at the point where you want to build more muscle, a little heavier, right? As I said, this is 1 to 2 pounds. You can get a bar that is 5 pounds, 8 pounds, and up. Do what you can afford. All right. So guys, remember that we have a fitness ball. These come in different sizes as well. So this one is a small one. If you are mildly affected and you want to use these with your squats or anything that you do with your balance, great tool. Notice my feet went hip width apart, right? I started here, hip width apart. Good base of support. Keep the shoulders back. Inhale, move with your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You can use this with your squat this way. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you have a great range of motion and you can take it all the way above your head. Again, good base of support. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So your fitness ball is a great tool. If you're mildly affected and you have the ability to balance yourself, just by sitting on the ball engages your core. It depending on the size of it, because you're keeping yourself stable, your quads are engaged, right? And depending on how you really feel, you can actually do your seated run on this ball, right? Right? Now, we are truly engaged balance-wise. So if you're there, if you're, like you said, if you're only mildly affected, go ahead and try a fitness ball. It may help you out. This is also great for stretching. So if you're able, you can stretch on it. You can also, again, build a little heat. Build a little heat. So I can bounce it, right? Maybe, again, remember what I said. Make it fun. Maybe you like basketball. Maybe that's your thing. So, hey, jump shot, right? By me going going up and down, fighting gravity, right? But endurance. Endurance. Remember, the whole point is to be able to go through your daily activities as seamless as possible. We know that you get tired, so we want to try and help that out, right? Build it up. Fitness ball is a great tool to add into your collection. And again, depending on what you like to do, you can, if you have a good base of support, it helps with your range of motion. If you're able, this one is a great one that is a good stretch as well. So I am a big fan, as I mentioned, of the toss and catch. I like this because it gives you a good way to balance out yourself and gravity. One, this is only 2 pounds, so it can be used for endurance, right? Just over, back and forth. Do make sure that when you come and stand up, that you inhale, pushing the shoulders back, exhale, bringing it back in. When you inhale, automatically it puts you in correct posture. We're trying to retain the muscle here. We're trying to make sure that the structure is retained. So this one, as I mentioned, is only 2 pounds. However, you can get 5 pounds, 8 pounds, if that's where you are. However, it can make it more of a strength for you. And with that, maybe you don't want to toss it. Maybe we are only bringing it up above our head and bringing it down. Maybe you're able to take it to the lower, add your lower body into it by squatting with it. Now, if you have if you're against a wall, you can use that same uh, fitness ball. Put that ball up against the wall and it will help you with your balance, because here I'm stable. With a ball behind me, it makes me get a little bit more stability and fight gravity, engaging my core. Now, you can bring, like you said, with a squat, bringing your feet hip width apart. Inhale, inhale, exhale, right? So I'm going to sit back. I extended my arms, because the thing about it is I'm also trying to engage different muscle groups so that my core is engaged by inhaling, right? Exhale back up. Notice the inhale, shoulders went back. Again, when you take a deep breath, automatically your posture is straightened out, is lengthened out, and that's what we want. So those are some of your standing exercises. Some of the things like the squat can be combined with your band. It can be combined with the cord, right? Like resistance, right? Resistance. You can combine your muscle groups again with this one by doing your bicep curls, right? And still inhale. Inhale, squeeze, exhale, back down. Remember, the goal is to get your core as tight as you can, because as long as you have a strong core, your balance is better. It is improved by doing so. Again, this cord, you can use it for your bicep curls. You can use it for your triceps. So notice how my feet, even though I turned to the side, I boxed out my feet. I am stable, right? Always make sure that your base of support is stable. But I can take my tricep with that, right? Kicking it back. Maybe I don't want to use a cord. I would like to use free weights. You can do the same actions. You have options, right? You have options. You have options. Use them. Now, as I said, that is for my mildly affected people. So what about my other groups that maybe standing isn't your jam? You're not able to fully have a good base of support. You're less stable. So, of course, we want to make sure that we're building your core as well, because, again, balance is very important. And we want to try and still build the strength that we need to just get through our daily lives. Now, I am going to come back around and say this. When I had this bar, I mentioned someone pulling if they were able to. It is assisted stretching. Assisted stretching. So assisted stretching is very important, I feel like, and all affected levels. It's because it loosens up your limbs. It increases your range of motion. It helps you, you get stiff, especially if you're wheelchair bound, you're going to be stiff. So the more that you're able to move, the happier your joints and your body will be. So if you can, again, have someone assist you stretch. If you are in a chair, we can have that person stand behind us, right? Maybe you're seated back, but stand behind us. Notice did you see, even now, if you are in the kind of mid-range of affected level, you may still be able to, like you said, to stand, but just not for long periods of time. So if this is you, I still encourage you to place your feet, good base of support in everything that you do. If you have someone that is able to help you assist in stretching, make sure that you are keeping your neck neutral. So like if we're down and forward, and think about the lengthening of the shoulders, and we are, because you tend to have neck issues, right? So we want to make sure that we are keeping our neck neutral if we can, that we are moving with our breath. Inhale, exhale, right? Even if someone is holding and they're pulling you and you inhale, exhale. But again, if you're able to have someone help you stretch, great. If not, okay, let's figure out a different way. And that different way could be in the form of a cord. So the same process, right? If you had something that you could loop it through. Now I have a chair, a bench that I can loop mine through. So I'm going to loop it through, and just by having one and being stable, I'm able to pull, right? And I feel that resistance by lengthening like my arms. But take it over, take it under, however it is that you need to do it. If you like you said, this is an aid that you can use. You can do some of those exercises, as I mentioned, seated as well. Remember, building muscle, retaining muscle is what we're looking for. You can do all of the things, right? You have options. Maybe you said, whoo, that was a lot. Maybe we're using our weights with those. All right? Out. Same thing. Same thing. Move with your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, maybe you're not able, maybe we're losing range of motion. This is why the stretching is important, because what we want to do is warm up the muscle with activity. So suppose we're at that front punch, right? Now this can double, because these are only 1 pound. I know, hey, they may look heavy. I'm just joking. But these are only 1 pound. So by them only being 1 pound, that you're able to move a little bit freely. Hopefully you haven't lost too much strength. And if you have, no problem. You can grab onto just any, not a soccer ball, but a tennis ball. Something that you can have just so that you have some type of resistance. And when we're going and we're moving, right, we're building a little bit of heat. This is helping our endurance. So that's what we want. We want to be able to last longer, because again, if you're in that mid-range of affected level, you still may be able to walk. So we want to be able to make sure that you're able to have a little bit more oomph, right? You can walk a little longer, you can stand a little longer. That's the goal. Now, for my mid-level people, again, you can do the same things that you were doing standing, some of them seated. Same little medicine ball. Notice, planted my feet. Same thing. Now, by catching, like you said, my shoulders are back, my core is engaged. The moral of the story, keep your core engaged. That's what we need. However, if you would like to up your game, as I said, get this is 2 pounds, get a ball that's a few more pounds, and it will give you more of strength in that motion. Here, we're just at endurance, building a little heat. That's where we are. Maybe if you're able to move our lower level, we're going to emulate running. Not running, of course, we're not running across the field, but we're going to emulate running. Why? Because that engages the quads, right? So it engages the quads, it engages the core, it engages the entire body, because we're moving our arms. Now, tighten it up, build some heat, build some heat. Endurance, that's what it is. If you're not able to move that fast, that is fine. Whatever level that you're at, do so. Pull it up, bring it in, right? However it works. However it works. If you want to increase the limb, right? So when we extend the limb, that means that we engage more muscles. We burn more calories with it. Not that we're trying to, but it's always good to do so. Now, if you want, again, add on to that run. Weights, right? Seated run. Ankle weights, right? Did you see that I sit back? I keep emphasizing that I sit back, that I pull my shoulders back. I really need you to try and do so. When you hold your stomach in, when you take that breath, remember, you are putting yourself in correct posture. So you can up your game with some heavier weights, with ankle weights. You can use a band on your ankles and for resistance there. You have options. Now, what about I want to, and we also, I want to throw out there that you could try other things that you like as far as exercise is concerned. Get out there. Maybe you like to box, right? You can do boxing seated or standing, right? If I am standing, of course, I'm able to punch and, all of that. If I'm seated, I can do the same thing. Boxing is a great way to build endurance and to increase muscle strength, right? Because that's what we want. Also, if you are, depending on, like I said, what you're into, maybe you say, I used to love playing baseball, right? So work with me. You could take a weight, maybe if you had a bar, whatever, and say, I'm just going to hit them out the park, right? So I was starting, look at that. I'm seated. I'm here. I am engaging my core. I am getting trunk rotation, right? So, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'm sitting up nice and straight. So, I need you to remember that. I need you to remember that. We are able to just, whatever you like, throw it in the mix. Switch it up. You don't have to do the same routine, all right? For my severely affected people, I know that with you, of course, breathing is an issue. We don't have necessarily you're wheelchair bound and you don't have a good range of motion. We are losing muscle strength. But does that mean that you shouldn't do anything? No, it doesn't. Okay? You don't get off either. Now, I personally, I work with someone who is severely affected. So I tend to try and get out the box with certain things. Now, the items this particular item is my favorite. But this particular item is called a what? Slinky. I know you said, why did this woman? Yes, I did pull out a slinky. This is good for your core, muscle, dexterity, right? Let's take and look here and here. Now, it's nice and smooth when I do it. It may not be nice and smooth for you. But if you look, I'm able to engage my muscles still. I'm sitting up nice and straight. And it gives me a little bit of coordination, right? I have to hold my arms out. So if you're in a wheelchair, just by holding your arms out and moving, that takes a good amount of core strength for you. So make it fun. Take it back and forth. Go back to when you were a kid, all right? Or if you are a kid, this is fun, guys. Now, one of the things that you may or may not be able to do is still foot motion. I suggest that if you have a ball, or it could be something that you're just able to move, and maybe this is where we are. It may not look like this either, and that's okay. However, by doing so, right, you may be engaging muscles that aren't normally engaged because you are, again, just kind of moving your feet. So with that, we're getting a little bit more of coordination, right? Muscle engagement. We have to engage the muscles. That's what we're doing. We're engaging the muscles. Now, one of the items that I feel like everybody of all levels could use is, what's this? It's just a little squeezy ball, right? A little stress ball. Now, this stress ball is I would say, low level. Like, they actually have ones that are a little harder. So depending on what your level is, get what works for you. Now, this stress ball, just by, and I'm going to hold my arm out, right? Just by squeezing the ball, you can see the muscles in my arms are engaged, right? Biceps, triceps, forearm, hand dexterity, right? I can combine this, do the same things that I was doing with the cords or the weights. Bicep curl, bicep curl, tricep, tricep, right? I can just push it back without resistance, which still it gives you an object to physically focus on to be able to push, move your arm. Or if you want to go ahead and stimulate those muscles a little more, get the squeeze when you move the ball. Everybody could get a little squeeze ball there. What if you say, okay, if you have any, if we're to the point where we are severely affected, you may not be able to do this one. But if you're mildly affected in that mid-range, this same ball in between the legs, inhale, squeeze, exhale, inhale, exhale, sit up nice and straight, all right? That engages your quads. It engages our hamstrings. It engages the calves because we're squeezing. So this is something that you can do that is low impact, right? And that you can do it anywhere that you go. Anywhere that you go. Depending on your range of motion, how far you can move it up. But the thing is, if you have any type of, like you said, whatever level of effectiveness that you are, you can always engage your muscles with a stress ball. All right. Now, depending on your coordination, if you want to try and toss and catch this, that is totally up to you. I wouldn't recommend that one. That one there, like you said, it could go wrong. It could go a lot of ways, so I wouldn't do that one. But like you said, your stress ball is a great tool that while you're just sitting throughout your day, you can do 10 sets on each side. Just squeeze. Bicep, right? Tricep, shoulders, and or you can just use it as an object to focus on, right? We're still moving and we're still engaging. However, it can, like you said, you can take this anywhere and you can do it anywhere. 10 set, a set of 10 here, a set of 10, later on, a set of 10 at night before bed. Well, you've done 3 sets of 10. So you are training and actually getting some endurance with your muscles and building strength. And that's what we want. Again, I do encourage you to make it fun. Even if you are severely affected and you're able to move, I would suggest, again, try the different things like maybe boxing. Make sure that you brace yourself, of course, because we know that both hands already puts you where your core is engaged. However, just so that you can build some strength, right? We want to make sure that we are holding on so that we are stable. And by coming across in that action, wherever it is, you're going to feel that in your core. And again, we're building muscles. We are building endurance. So that's the name of the game, pretty much. So, as I mentioned, we want to try and have a good amount of energy in our movement to increase our endurance so that way we have more energy in our everyday lives. That's what we want. The goal is to be able to go through your daily activities as seamless as possible, right? So, I am Coach K, owner of Wanna Go Fit. I thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, if you can, go ahead, grab a stress ball. That is an excellent tool that you can use that you can take anywhere. Grab some of your bands, like you said, your stretch bands, resistance bands, great to add into any of your workouts or into your and to just your daily activities. Have a little exercise break. Why not? They have coffee breaks. Have an exercise break. Have a strength break. Bust out your stress ball. Get some reps in, right? All right, keep it going. Remember, if you can, assisted stretching really helps, guys. It really helps with your range of motion. It really helps with lengthening out your muscles and helping so that you're not so stiff. Also, massage. If you're able to, go in between your exercises with a roller or something of that nature, or if you have someone assisting you, a coach maybe, then ask, hey, in between our motions, can we go ahead and just kind of roll out my muscles a little bit, help the blood flow. It helps with the soreness so you're not as sore. And again, it helps with loosening the muscles and having more range of motion, which is what we want. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at Wanna Go Fit. I thank y'all for having me. Again, move it or lose it, because we don't have time for that.